Hello everyone, my name is Griffin and we are back with another reaction video. We are reacting to Shu on Hid's video called Female Loneliness and How to Fix It. I'm not sure if we could fix any sort of loneliness, but let's see what Shu on Hid has to say about this.
Women. Despite popular belief on Reddit, I love women. And despite popular belief on 4chan, I am a woman. And as I am filming this, it is currently International Women's Day. So happy International Women's Day to all 7.3 of you.
It's way past International Women's Day at the day I'm recording this, by the way.
We've talked quite a bit about male loneliness on this channel, but we haven't really touched on female loneliness, which although technically not as severe yet, is unfortunately a real and rapidly growing trend.
I believe there is plenty of loneliness on both sides, although I feel that men have it a little bit more worse than women when it comes to loneliness. Because for one thing, now this is just my opinion. I don't know if this is actual fact, but this is how I feel it is. When it comes to finding somebody to be with, whether it be in a relationship or just, a fling sort of thing, I feel as though women have an easier time getting somebody than men do. And I mean, for women who are only attracted to men or have an attraction to men, they have an easier time getting a man than a man has getting a woman. Now, I think that holds true, but I can't definitively prove it myself. You'd have to go through the statistics and all the facts, but I believe that women do have an easier time getting somebody than a man does.
The modern world does not seem to have a solution to this. All modern dating advice is just garbage. The future seems bleak, so maybe...
Don't listen to any dating advice shit you hear or see on TikTok. That's my advice. Don't fucking listen to it. Just don't. Because what works for that person more than likely will not work for the next person. Not everything that works for that person will work for everybody else. That's the thing. That's why you can't really trust anyone that gives any sort of advice like do these 3 things and then this will happen, or avoid these certain things so this will happen or this won't happen. Just don't listen to those videos, because those sort of things work for that person and more than likely probably won't work for you. I mean, they might work for you. You can give them a try. I don't recommend listening to a lot of them because a lot of them are just stupid. But what works for that person probably won't work for you. I mean, like I said, give it a try, but it probably won't.
We have to look in the past. In this video, we're going to talk a bit about modern female loneliness, and then we're going to have some fun looking at some dating advice from the 1950s to see if we can find a solution there. Because what worked for our grandmothers surely will work for us, right? Back in the day when people would still go to malt shops and diners instead of femboy hooters. Women
when it comes to looks and everything, as a guy, this is probably gonna... I think there are probably plenty of other guys who agree with me on this. We're sort of getting tired of all the very, very provocative and sexual and very revealing stuff. A lot of guys would like to see women dress more modestly, and, with more style that doesn't show almost everything on the woman. Less is more. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of that stuff is very stimulating to see. But I think at this point it's becoming much to the point where it doesn't really do anything anymore. Like, you see it so much, you are stimulated by it so much that it just doesn't do anything anymore. And at this point, I think a lot of men are becoming more fascinated by women who dress more modestly with more style And, you know, I'm not saying fashion, because fashion is just fucking stupid. There's a lot of things out there that are considered fashion that just look fucking moronic. But with style over fashion, okay? Especially with guys, style over fashion. Seriously. A lot of fashion for dudes is just, oh my god, it's so dumb. But yeah, it's becoming too much. I'd rather see I'd just rather see, sometimes I'd rather see a woman in a nice looking dress. Maybe just, you know, a sundress maybe, or just a regular dress. I'd like to see that again. I'm a guy, and I'm saying I'm starting to get sick of seeing all this very provocative shit that you ladies are posting out there.
Dated men for more than just their wallets. Which reminds me, before we get into this video, let's quickly get into today's sponsor, Ridge Wallet. Ridge Wallets are high quality during this channel, and thank you.
Sorry, Sean Head. I already know, but I don't care. Nothing against you. I just don't care about the product.
To the viewer for not skipping the 1.2. The number of single women in the US is expected to increase 1.2% every year from 2008 to 2030, compared to a 0.8% increase in the overall population. This will result in 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 who will be single and childless by 2030.
I have heard that rhetoric so much that, considering how a lot of things are going, and I've said this in other videos, I know it's more than likely the very, very vocal minority. But because of all this shit that a lot of these ladies have been putting as a standard, it's not the bare minimum, ladies. It's really not. This outrageous shit you ladies are calling the bare minimum, and I know it's not the majority of women that are calling it the bare minimum. I know it's not. It can't be. It really can't be. I know there are ladies out there who actually have genuine good standards. But a lot of these women are, I'm not going to be surprised that they're going to be single and childless by the time they're in their 30s and 40s, by the year 2030 or so. It's not going to be surprising, considering how the current trend with dating standards is.
Now, according to some people, this is apparently a good thing. More women being single and childless is a good thing. Society is progressing. Women no longer have to be chained up and turned into breeding cows. 1984. Apparently, single women spend more than the average family on travel, shopping, makeup, skincare, etc. So of course, some economists will twist this into a positive thing. But I'm not an economist. I'm your average, humble, working-class American YouTuber, slaving over a hot laptop, producing absolutely nothing of value to society. And I don't think this is a good thing. I think this is proof things are going very wrong. And if you look at the stats about
it's going very wrong when kids nowadays are aspiring to be content creators. Sorry, to bubble in my throat. Are aspiring to be, streamers on Twitch or on YouTube, or content creators on YouTube or TikTok, or trying to become these famous influencers. I've severely worry about our future when a lot of these kids are seeing all these influencers and seeing how much money they're making and everything. They're saying, like, I want to become an influencer, or I want to become a streamer, I want to become a YouTuber. It'd be like, look, that's fine if you want to do it as a hobby. And if you want to go do it full time, don't do it right away. Make this as a hobby, and if you start making good money off of it, as you make enough money to sustain yourself by doing the content creations and the sponsors and stuff to be able to afford, like a 1-bedroom apartment, then yeah, start going full time with that if you want to. But don't aspire to be this. This is not a great aspiration to have. We need more people in the trades. We need more people. We need more, workers out there. We don't need more people being influencers.
about how so many women are on antidepressants and how the female suicide rate has been increasing, there may be a connection here. Friendship, family, and sexual intimacy are a big part of the hierarchy of needs. And I don't think women are happier being alone and single. I just think women might be better at coping with being alone and single. At least for a little while.
I just had like the craziest, saddest thought.
Dating in LA is awful. Well, of course dating in LA is awful. The superficial shit that people have in LA is just, oh my god, it's horrible. They think they're just so beautiful, so great, so superior. Fucking dating in LA is awful. What the fuck do you expect? It's LA.
I'm in a stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies.
When you talk about this,
you see, I know I'm pausing a lot. I'm sorry. I got a lot to say. I've this is another thing I've heard. Like this modern wave of feminism or feminists have pushed this rhetoric where you don't need no man. Your true happiness will come from, being strong and independent, making money, do all this stuff. That's fine. If that's what makes you happy and you're not looking forward to anything else but that in your future, which probably your feelings will probably change in the future because you never know what'll happen, then fine, go right ahead. But if that is your choice and you saying you never want to have kids, you never want to get married, you better be sure that is what you want. Because there are ladies like that chick, like this one, who've gone their 30 years of living. They're seeing all their friends and all their cousins, siblings, and all these other people finding somebody that they love and they marry and they're having kids, and they see this sort of happiness in their in their friends and their family that they seem to feel that they don't have, like this certain kind of happiness that they thought that they would obtain by doing all this sort of stuff, but haven't. They see their friends have this sort of happiness from having a marriage, a home, and kids. And they don't have that. Because they thought being strong and independent, they don't need no man, would bring them a lot of happiness. For a lot of women, I can probably say that it'll bring them short-term happiness, but the older they get and the closer they get to their biological clock running out, they start to realize that, and I know this isn't all women, that the I don't know how the amount of women that do feel this, but they start to feel like when their time is starting to run out, they start to feel like, I want kids, but it's starting to become late. And I think it's after 35 it starts to become a lot harder and more dangerous to have kids. So I feel bad for her, but while dating in LA is awful, true, because it's fucking LA, dating in general is just awful because of the standards that a lot of the modern generation has put. So if you think being independent and you don't need a partner and you don't want kids or anything, you better make sure that that is what you want throughout your entire life. Because you never know how your feelings will change on the matter.
I'm watching all my friends
out that these women could easily get any man to sleep with. And I'm sure they know that. But sex isn't the only thing people are looking for. As I said in the male loneliness video, it would be relatively easy for a lot of these incels to just get laid, hire a hooker, and it would take the average woman like 5 minutes to find a man to sleep with. Just walk the f outside. But casual sex isn't the solution to loneliness.
No,
it's
not.
a band-aid. It's a way to fill your void.
It's kind of like for those who get a fix or a high off cigarettes or a joint or a caffeine high. It's a very short term happiness. It's like, a couple seconds happiness. Woo, there it is. But it doesn't last.
With cum. Trying to find someone to love, to marry, to have a family with nowadays, it is incredibly difficult for both genders in this climate today. And it seems like nowadays the only acceptable way to do so is to swipe right. We live in an increasingly atomized, lonely society thanks to a nasty combination of social media, technology, hookup culture, lack of community.
Yeah, I think that's another when online dating came around, I felt it was like a double-edged sword, because before it came about, you would actually have to go out and meet people and get to know the person over so long. You'd have to always keep going out to see the person, to hang out with them or talk to them on the phone or whatever, and do it that way, the old-fashioned way. But nowadays, it can be nice because you can meet people across the globe, but it's missing the actual human connection that a lot of us, I think, are desperately lacking. You can't really get to know the person online very well. You can't 100% get to know them. I think you actually have to be there to actually get to know the person, to see what they're like in person, because you can't really feel the person out through online messaging or swiping right or left. I just think all this stuff is missing the essential human connection.
Lack of friends, lack of purpose, lack of money, late-stage capitalism, neoliberalism, and so many other things. And men are being told to, well, nothing. You're on your own. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's your fault. You built the world, after all, and are increasingly turning to the few people who at least pretend to give a shit, who just wind up selling them poison that ultimately hurts them in the end. Like hollow materialism, eternal one-night stands, and vasectomies. Yeah, in case you were wondering, one-night stands and...
The quickest path to becoming a high-value man. Do not get married, avoid family creation, vasectomy in your 20s. In what way, shape, or form, in what logical thinking universe are any of these things considered to be high value? Huh? A lot of you guys don't seem to understand. You do realize that, ladies, you too, you do realize that vasectomies aren't 100% reversible. And to some people who do get them reversed, they would end up becoming infertile. I understand that you are wanting a sort of male birth control, but vasectomies aren't the greatest. Yes, they're good for after you've had kids and you're getting older and you don't want kids anymore. That's great, that's fine. Although they can sometimes end up healing on their own, and but that's very low chance. But still, for those who are still young and wanting kids, that stuff is not 100% reversible, and you do have a chance of becoming infertile. So I don't recommend this until after you have kids, or you just don't outright want kids. Avoid family creation. Well, you can easily do that by doing abstinence or actually being safe, and using birth control and condoms. Don't get married. Well, a lot of guys refuse to get married because it's really nothing good for the man. No benefit for the man to get married. Although I do want to get married at one point in my life. I'm hoping I can do that before I turn 40.
Vasectomies. Yeah, in case you were wondering, that's what the red pill has been up to. Telling their audience to just forget marriage and...
Pearl! Let's see. Oh, God. Okay. With people like this, Pearl and Fresh and Fit, and I forget the other guy's name. That's in the other country. He was a kickboxer. I can't fucking remember his name. Look, there are some things that they say that I agree on. A lot of the other things, I think they really need to think about what they say. I mean, look at this. Solutions for men. Vasectomy till I find the right woman. Don't do that. Don't do that. Vasectomy reversal odds are better than your odds at a marriage working out, but you all push that. You have better odds at a marriage working out than the reversal odds for a vasectomy. Because, like I said, while the vasectomies can be reversed and you can have kids, like I said, even if they get reversed, you still have a chance of also becoming infertile. Why is it that male cheating, vasectomies, having multiple wives triggers tradcons? I don't know what a tradcon is. I know what a trad wife is. I don't know what a tradcon is. I know it has to be like traditional. Oh, I think it's traditional conservatives. I think that's what that is. Pearl. So, she's a hit or miss when it comes to some of the things she says.
neuter themselves, while women in turn are also being sold very similar poison about how it's good to be single, it's empowering, you don't need no man, get on the pill, sleep around, climb the corporate ladder, and don't worry baby, we'll freeze your eggs for you. But is this good advice for women?
No.
Or have we girl bossed a little too close to this?
Yeah, you look, the girl boss thing is just, don't follow it. It's not good. All it is just arrogant misandery.
Son. A study on date psychology recently revealed that 48% of men 26 to 40 years old have not approached women in the past year, and 60% of men aged 18 to 25.
Oh, let's see here. The charts above are for single men. About half of single men have not approached a woman in person within the past year. Oh, that's sad. Sad for me too. This is true for each age group, but it does vary. For example, 59% of men within the 18 to 25 age group, Zoomers, whatever, have not approached someone in the past year. 48% of men in the 26 to 40 age group, millennials, have not. I'm a millennial. I just turned 33 last week. Millennials are approaching more consistent with the hypothesis of generational shift in risk aversion, Zoomers being more risk averse. A substantial percentage of all men have not approached anyone within the past month, 81.81% Zoomers, 74.52% millennials.
I've said they
Approach
haven't.
people.
In the entire data set, 30% of men said they never approached a woman in person before.
A sizable minority of men are not approaching women at all. I can understand that. Sad it is to say, but I can understand it. In the entire database or data set, 29% of men said that they never approached a woman in person before. Can be scary. Especially, it can be pretty intimidating, especially if a woman is in a group. Like a group of friends or just a group, because it's I don't know how to explain it. It's just a little, It's easier to approach a woman if she's with maybe a couple of people or if she's by herself. Got to be careful though, because even if a man isn't being one, he's always being labeled a creep. Even if he's just approaching out of wanting to, chat a girl up, for innocent reasons. Anyways, 27% said that it has been more than 1 year. This was larger for men in the ages 18 to 25 group. 45% had never approached a woman in person. This is again consistent with the hypothesis of a generational risk aversion trend in Zoomers. 17% had not approached a woman in more than a year. Never and more than 1 year are discrete groups. This means that about half of all single men in many dataset are effectively not approaching women for dates in person. It's easier to do it over online than it is in person, which I think is not that great.
Ever. This also might be because, like I said, everything that isn't swiping right on a dating app nowadays is considered creepy. Don't approach women at the bar. Don't approach women at the gym. Don't approach women at coffee shops. Don't approach women at work. Don't approach women at the mall. Don't approach women. We live in HR world.
Yeah, because the thing is... Sorry, I spilled ice cream on myself. The thing is, it sucks for men approaching a woman because unless you're at least somewhat good-looking, if you're that and you approach women, it's seen as fine. But if you're average or below average looks, you try and approach a woman, you're seen as a creep. That's just bullshit. And you wonder why a lot of people are not wanting to approach a woman. What the fuck?
And it turns out a lot of women don't like HR world. Every time I see videos of women crying about not being approached by men or being lonely, the comments and replies are always full of men like, "Enjoy your cats. This is what you asked for. This is the world you wanted, ladies." But was it? Not every woman is the blue-haired, man-hating, feminist stereotype that you have in your mind.
It's what the the very vocal minority wanted, not the majority of women.
A lot of them want the same exact world you do. What you have to understand is society in the media is basically like her fat, ugly, drunk friend at the bar cock-blocking you from talking to her. Excuse me? She's not interested. Even though chances are, she might be. According to the same study on date psychology, 77% of women...
That obviously twirling of the hair is just so embarrassing. I had a bubble in my throat.
Aged 18 to 30...
74% of women aged 25 and below want to be approached more. 77% in the full 18 to 30 cohort. 68% wish to be approached more between 30 and 40, while for women 41 and older, 45% wish to be approached.
Want to be approached more. So if men are lonely and women are lonely, but men are too afraid to approach women nowadays, there's only one thing we can do, ladies. We must approach them. So I did a little...
I guarantee you, ladies, a man would love it if you approached him. You cannot always leave it to the guy. Try and approach men more. I guarantee you they'll love it.
Research and looked up how to approach men as a woman. Number 1, don't. Almost every single article, blog post, tweet thread, giving advice to women on how to get a man said some shit like, don't chase him, let him chase you. Be unavailable and mysterious. Simply pretend.
Being unavailable and mysterious is a good way for him to not approach you, for him to not chase you, because you're unavailable. And he will take it as such. If you want somebody to approach you, make yourself look available and approachable. Not unavailable and fucking annoying.
And he doesn't exist. Great. awesome. Almost every single bit of dating advice I found amounted to let them come to us. But what if they're not coming to us? What do we do now? Well, according to the great philosophers of our time, Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate, the problem is...
Andrew Tate, that's what his name was.
The modern woman. Lazy, entitled, mid. These are the ingredients that create the modern woman. So clearly we have to go back. Back when a cheeseburger was 5 cents.
I'd say that's what creates the minority of the women. We're very vocal about this dumb shit.
And women were lobotomized. That's right, we must return to the 1950s.
One of the most common ways to find a partner these days is by using dating apps and websites. But back in the 1950s, you had to get a little bit more creative. Here's an article from 1958
Oh my god, that looks old.
in McCall's...
Let's see, where to find him? Oh, these are going to be old. These are going to be good. Oh, let's see. Get a dog and walk it. I'd say that would depend more on the area that you are. Because if you live out in the country, you're not really going to run into a lot of people if you go and walk your dog. I'd say if you live in the suburban area or the cities, then yeah, that would work. Have your car break down at strategic places. Oh, that is such an old trick. Immediately, my mind went to Adam Sandler's, I think it was called 50 First Dates. One of them, I think, was his car broke down. And 3, attend night school. Take courses men like. Do they still do night schools? Join a hiking club. I mean, if you're looking for an outdoorsy type, then I'd say, yeah, that could probably work. Even today. Look in the census reports for places with the most single men. Nevada has 125 males for every 100 females. Does anybody ever look at the census reports anymore? Read the... Oh my god. Read the obituaries to find eligible widowers. Oh my god. That's about as bad as going on Facebook looking through I heard a couple of people say this, to go to the Facebook marketplace, look through the wedding dresses, and you can filter them out by size and look for women that way. That's just as... I don't know if that's just as horrible, but that is bad. Take up golf and go to different golf courses. I guess. I think that could probably work even today. Take several short vacations at different places rather than one long one at one. Yeah, in this economy, no, unless you're in like the top, I'd say 20% of earners, yeah, we can't really afford to take small vacations. We could barely afford to take one vacation. Sit on a park bench and feed the pigeon. What the hell? Are you fucking 70? I mean, sure, go to New York and do that, but my god, that's an old person thing. Take a bicycle trip through Europe. If you can afford it, go right ahead. Get a job in a medical, dental, or law school. If you're going to do that, I think just going to the school itself and, getting a degree in either of them, you'll eventually find somebody that way too. Become a nurse or an airline stewardess. They have very high marriage rates. I guarantee you they probably also have very high divorce rates. Ask your friends' husbands who the eligible men are in their offices. I guess that could work. Huh.
magazine listed 129 ways for women to get a husband.
This list has gone viral so many times on the internet, and I have been sitting on this video idea for years. And what better time to talk about this now that all you bitches single as fuck. But don't worry, we are going to see if the red pill and schizophrenic Roman statue trad larper accounts on Twitter are correct. Did women in the 1950s have better dating advice than women today? Because apparently what we're doing today, crying on TikTok, is just not working for us. Okay, let's just dive into this. Let's go. Number 1, get a dog and walk it. Honestly, this is pretty good advice. This is fine advice. If you have a dog, you'll probably go god-fucking vacations and enjoy Roman history class, be my guest. Take courses men like. If you want to sign up for school sports for places with lady and women weebs, sane. We got all types of men here. We got the furries, we got the weebs, the libertarians, the conservatives, the liberals,
the Marxists, the anarchists, the agitators, the looters, and people who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing.
Read the obituaries to find eligible widowers. What the fuck? Showing up to a funeral like, hey, sorry about your wife. What that dick do, though? So I'm actually getting these from an article written in 2018 about the advice from the 1950s. And the journalist...
Hang on. I want to get the actual list. 129 ways to get a husband. Okay, here it is. Okay, we went through those 13 there. Oops. My OBS minimized. Okay, here we go. 14. Be nice to everybody. Of course you're supposed to be nice to everybody on this. You know, I'd say this. This is how I go, because I also heard Gabriel Iglesias say this. For me, I'm kind to everybody. I'm respectful of everybody. If you disrespect me once, that's fine. I can take that. You're probably having a good day. You're heated. You're probably having a bad day. You're heated. You haven't calmed down. You maybe slipped or something, slip of the tongue or whatever. That's fine. I can deal with that. However, you disrespect me a second time, you keep going on after that, I'm not going to be nice to you anymore. That's the thing. Be nice to everybody. Give them one chance to be nice to, if they're mean to you. The second time, and if it continues on, all bets are off. Be a dick. They may have an eligible brother or son. Oh, God. The son. Don't go after the son. Get a government job overseas. If you want to be shipped off, okay. Volunteer for... Who the fuck wants to volunteer for jury duty? Be friendly to ugly... Yes. Be friendly to ugly men. Handsome is as handsome does. Oh, God. There's one thing, though. There's always some good-looking dude. Always has at least one ugly or fugly friend. They always do. There's always one. Tell your friends that you are interested in getting married. Don't keep it a secret. Yes! Don't keep it a fucking secret. Let them know what... Here's the thing. If you're going to go date somebody, let them know what you're hoping for off the bat. Don't keep them guessing. Don't keep them waiting. Let them know what you're trying to get. Like it... I let people, if I ever go on a date, I let people know, hey, I'm hoping for a long-term relationship that'll hopefully lead into a marriage. That's it. I gotta fix something here. You guys probably saw that. All right. Where was I? Get lost at football games? Huh? If you're purposely getting lost at a football game and you're being obvious about it, you're just going to look stupid. Don't take a job in a company run largely by women. Well, obviously, unless you're a lesbian or a bisexual, then yeah, go right ahead. Get a job demonstrating fishing. Is that demonstrating? I think that's demonstrating. It's kind of faded. Fishing tackle in a sporting goods store. I guess again, if you're into the outdoorsy kind of person, then yeah, that could work. On a plane, train, or bus, don't sit next to a woman. Sit next to a man. Well, if you're bisexual or a lesbian, then yeah, sit by a woman. But yeah, sit next to a man. Just don't be creepy about it. Go to all reunions of your high school or college class. There may be widowers. Oh my god. Don't go after the person if they just lost somebody. What the hell's wrong with you? Don't be afraid to associate with more attractive girls. They may have some leftovers. That is just insulting. Come on. They may have leftovers. Well, I guess their leftovers would probably be their friend zone. So, go after the person's friend zone. Oh, that's hilarious. Go back to your hometown for a visit. The wild kid next door may have become a very eligible bachelor while you were away. At least make sure the kid is legal. Please, for the love of God. Don't room with a girl who is a sad sack and let her pull you down to the level. The hell is this list? Get a part-time job in a convention bureau. I guess, I don't know. Change apartments from time to time. In this economy, good fucking luck. Shit's too expensive. When traveling, stay at small hotels where it is easier to meet strangers. Stranger danger. Learn to paint. Set up. I don't know how to say that word. Easel. Outings. Engineering school. Whatever. How to let him know you're there. Stumble when you walk into a room that he's in. Oh my god. This list is just ridiculous.
Bella DiPaolo is constantly writing her own commentary after, like, almost every single one of these things. Like, look, ready? This one is like, get a job in a medical, dental, or law school. And she writes, become a doctor, dentist, or lawyer. You are a badass, so you don't need to marry one. And the next advice from the 50s is, become a nurse or airline stewardess. They have very high marriage rates. And she's like, no, become a person who thinks for herself. They have very high rates of living the life that works for them.
I hate people like this. It's because of people like this that it's just... Oh, things have become so much more annoying.
So become a doctor, dentist, or lawyer is good advice because strong, independent woman jobs or something. But become a nurse or airline stewardess is bad advice because... Why exactly? Like, I'm sorry, is that not a little sexist? Why is she looking down on being a nurse or an airline worker? The advice some women give to other women is, like, incredible. It's always just, like, constant affirmation, constant coddling, constant, like, you're doing nothing wrong, sweetie. And then male advice is like, your whole family's gonna die if you don't go to the gym right now.
Ladies, you need to stop coddling each other. Start telling each other the truth. I mean, really, come on.
Be nice to everybody. They may have an eligible brother or son. You shouldn't only be being nice to people in order to possibly get laid. Just be nice to everyone in general. Being nice is like the bare minimum. And what's sad is some people can't even do that. The bar is in hell. And yet, get a government job overseas. Okay, I'm sorry. No man is worth becoming a Fed. Do not become a federal agent for some dick. Be friendly.
Federal agents also have a very, very high divorce rate, by the way.
Friendly to ugly men. Again, just be nice to everyone in general. Lowering your standards if they're very high or unrealistic is a good thing, but don't lower them too much. If you're not attracted to someone, you should not be dating them. And don't get with the first person who's nice to you or shows you attention just because you're lonely. The amount of men and women who like jump into relationships just because they're sad and lonely is way too high. It's almost always a recipe for disaster. Don't date someone who you think is ugly, but like, if he's not over 6 feet or doesn't have the perfect body, like, yeah, give him a chance. You're not perfect either, girl. But if you think he's straight up ugly,
it is amazing how many women out there think they're a 10 when they're not even a 7. I'll tell you this, everybody out there, men and women, nobody's a 10. And nobody on God's green earth is a 10. The highest you can get, probably 9.5. Because nobody's perfect. A 10 is perfect. And nobody's perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Different story. So yes, be nice to everyone, including ugly people, but don't date someone you think is ugly. Tell your friends that you are interested in getting married. Don't keep it a secret. Oh, we have another author's note. Tell your friends you have no interest whatsoever in getting married. Don't keep it a secret. Tell your mother. Tell all your other relatives. Tell all the random people you meet on the street. Declare it on social media. Bro, this is why we are here now, by the way. People like this in 2018 telling young women to not even try and just be a strong, independent girl boss. These are the fat, ugly, drunk friend at the bar cock blocking you. Get lost at football games. Alright, if I'm at a football game, I'm already lost. Don't take a job in a company run largely by women. You would never hear this in modern dating advice. This is like blasphemous. I like the author's note to run a company. Get a job demonstrating fishing tackle in a sporting goods store. See? Bass Pro Shops. I'm telling you. The last respectable institution in America. On a plane, train, or bus, don't sit next to a woman. Sit next to a man. Author's note, spread out all your stuff on the seat next to you and maybe you will get to have the whole row to yourself.
That is just being a dick. Fuck anybody that does that. I don't ride buses or trains, but fuck you if you do that.
The contrast between the like wholesome goofy shit from the 1950s and this like bitter modern asocial shit is so funny. Go to all reunions of your high school or college class. There may be widowers there. What is up with this like predatory ass advice? Why widowers? Be a rebound for a man whose wife fucking died. Also, I just realized I missed my 10-year high school reunion. Oh well. I don't think anyone would recognize me anyway. I'd have to like wear an Invader Zim shirt and like trip pants.
Oh my God.
Don't be afraid to associate with more attractive girls. They may have some leftovers.
What are you doing here? What do you mean? I'm here for the scraps.
Don't room with a girl who is a sad sack and let her pull you down to her level. I mean, this is pretty good, like, standard advice. Don't surround yourself with negative, miserable people. Like this journalist who will just try to drag you down to her level and attempt to sabotage your dating aspirations. Learn to paint. Set up easel outside engineering school. The author's note. If you like to paint, set up your easel where nobody will bother you. Spread your stuff out so nobody will sit next to you. Set your easel up where nobody will bother you. They want you to die alone. Stumble when you walk into a room that he's in. Carry a hat box. What? Do we put a
The hell is a hat box?
hat in the box? What do we put in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box?
Wear a band-aid. People always ask what happened. No they won't. This was absolutely written in the 1950s, where people used to talk to each other. Make a lot of money. Damn. Why didn't I think of that? What great advice. Don't be poor. Dropping the handkerchief still
No.
works. God, everything seems so wholesome and simple back then. Drop a handkerchief. That's all it took. Hell, like even my mom, what she did to get my dad's attention, she just like rode her bike back and forth in front of his house. Like, that's so adorable and wholesome. Want to know how me and my husband met? He trolled me on Twitter. He was a hater on twitter.com. How do I explain that to my future children?
Stand in a corner and cry softly. Chances are good that he'll come over to find out what's wrong.
No, chances are people will whip out their cell phone and start filming you, and then you go viral. Crazy Karen cries in corner.
Buy a convertible. Men like to ride in them. Learn how to bake tasty apple pies. Bring one into the office and let the eligible bachelors taste it.
Honestly, this is pretty cute advice. I could see this maybe working. But like, people are so weird about people like dating at work nowadays. That used to be like the #1 place people would meet their spouse. And now it's like saying Susan looks nice today is sexual harassment. I like the author's note here. Learn how to bake tasty apple pies. Eat them. Don't do anything for a man ever. Do everything for yourself. Wow.
Like, ladies, seriously, who the fuck hurt you? That you just have to bash every sort of advice that people want to give to women on how to possibly get a husband. I mean, who hurt you?
Thanks, Journo. You helped so much. Female loneliness cured.
Laugh at his jokes.
Laugh at his jokes. If they are funny. Attractive people make the terrible mistake of assuming that they are funny because simps and simpettes will laugh at any joke they say, no matter if it's funny or not. You are not funny. People just want to f you. Know the difference.
Accidentally have your purse fly open, scattering its contents all over the street.
Oh no, I dropped my monster
Don't do that. You'll just look like an idiot.
tampon that I use for my magnum pussy.
Wear high heels most of the time. They're sexier.
Journo note. This has become my favorite.
I always see high heels as something like, doesn't that just hurt to walk in? If it hurts to walk in, or if it doesn't feel comfortable, wear something else that's comfortable.
Thing. Wear shoes with no heels. They are way more comfortable. Or don't wear shoes at all. Okay.
This is one thing I agree with.
Okay. Terrible advice. Wear shoes. You don't want to attract the foot guys. Trust me. I know some of them are in this comment section right now as we speak. Horrifying.
Probably.
But yes, heels are attractive. Heels are pretty. They make your ass look good. They make your legs look good. I don't see how this is bad advice. Unless he happens to be shorter than you are. Oof. The manlet's catching strays even back in 1958.
Tell him he's handsome.
Journo note, let's go! Talk to someone who is less needy and insecure.
Man or a woman, we all like to be told that we look good, that we're cute, that we're handsome, we're hot, we're sexy. Everybody likes to hear it. Especially guys. We don't really hear it too often. So if you think we look handsome, tell us. Hell, that'll give a lot of us a confidence boost.
This bitch doesn't even want you complimenting men that you are interested in. Also, ladies, pro tip, if you want him to just melt in your hands, don't say he's handsome. You can do that. But next time you're like walking with him or something, just be like, I feel very protected when I'm with you. He will be locked the fuck in. I don't see the fault in like complimenting a man or a woman that you are attracted to, that you are trying to date. Why does that make them insecure or needy?
Take good care of your health. Men don't like girls who are ill. Get a sunburn. Go on a diet if you need to.
Don't get a sunburn. You just get a tan.
You would never, ever see this advice today.
No, because there are people who are out there who are fat fucks who think it's healthy to be a fat fuck and think it's sexy to be a fat fuck. The only people who will think that fat fucks are sexy are the people who are the feeders or have some fat fetish. Because one, it doesn't look healthy at all. It's just very concerning. Don't be a fat fuck.
What's crazy is like in the early 2000s, very, very skinny was the look. Like I remember being a kid and seeing things about how like fat Britney Spears is when she looked like this. And now we've gone completely 180 where it's like health and fitness be damned, Lizzo is a queen. Like can't we just be normal about this? Why is there no middle ground between like having an eating disorder and having an eating disorder?
When you are with him, order your steak rare.
Absolutely not. I eat
No.
my steaks well done. Not even well done. I eat that shit. Congratulations.
Yeah, don't don't ever do rare. Medium rare or medium well is probably, or somewhere in between is probably the best. Or so I'd say probably between well done and medium rare. I think that's probably the best.
Don't tell him about your allergies. Don't
If you have allergies, please, for the love of fucking God, let him know.
be too fussy. Don't whine. Girls who whine stay on the vine. Double date with a
That's pretty funny. I like that.
gay, happily married couple. Let him see what it's like.
This has such a different meaning today. Double date with a gay couple. Let him see what it's like.
Be flexible. If he decides to skip the dance and go rowing on the lake, go. Even if you're wearing your best evening gown.
Journo note. Tell him that's fine, but he has to wear the evening gown and the heels.
I guarantee you, some men will fucking do that. If they are so fucking comfortable with themselves and you tell them they have to wear an evening gown and heels out, I guarantee you they will fucking do that. One, because it'll be fucking hilarious. And two, for shits and giggles.
Hello? Force feminize your date. 129 ways to get a boy wife.
Turn wolves into husband material by assuming they have honor.
Okay, I'm so fucking brain broken. I'm such a degenerate that like when I read this, I immediately thought of like Legoshi the wolf from Beastars. Like, oh, he'd make a good husband.
Oh, of course she would think
Oh
that.
wait, how old is he? Hold on. Oh god, wait, he's 17. Wait.
Resist the urge to make him over. Before
God, in
marriage,
4K.
that is.
So basically, trap him and then mold him into your perfect mate. Okay. I swear this advice.
Don't forcibly change people. Just ask them if they can change what you don't like. Don't force people to do it.
Advice is getting more insane the further we go. The lobotomy is kicking in.
Remain innocent, but not ignorant. If he's rich, tell him you like his money. The honesty will intrigue him.
Will it? Honestly, maybe. If he doesn't mind marrying a gold digger, I guess. But if it's just like a dude looking for love, and you're just like, I like your money. It's over. You fucked it up.
Never
Yep.
let him believe your career is more important to you than marriage. Clip and mail him a funny cartoon that means something to the both of you.
Literally the 1950s version of sending a meme.
Stop
Yeah, they would cut out the clip of a comic from a newspaper and just show the dude. I remember seeing those things when my dad read the newspaper. He would mainly read a lot of them for the comics.
being a mama's girl. Don't let him think he'll have in-law trouble, even if you know he will.
Journo note. Guess who never has in-law trouble? People who stay single. What other articles has this woman written? Let's look this up.
The real sex lives of middle-aged single women. A world without marriage. The unsung joy of living alone. The thrill of going to holiday parties alone.
She's like the quintessential meme for Forever Alone. Who hurt this lady?
Why being in a long-term relationship may make women more depressed. There are more
Why it may make you more depressed, not other women.
single people than ever. That's not a bad thing. The profound rewards of staying single.
I'm done. This is just sad. This is sadder than Anita Sarkeesian having a wedding-themed birthday party and marrying herself. You're gonna look at this and
A wedding-themed birthday party. And you marry yourself. Honestly, yeah, that's pretty damn sad.
tell me there's no female loneliness epidemic? Really?
Point out to him that the death rate of single men is twice that of married men.
Marry me or you'll die an early death.
If your mother is fat, tell him you take after your father. If he's fat too, tell him you're adopted. It was a different time. Stow away on a battleship.
Rent a billboard and post your picture and telephone number on it. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Do not do
Don't
this.
ever do that.
Sink at a fashionable beach at high noon. Make and sell toupees. Bald men are easy catches.
Don't marry him if he has too many loose buttons.
The end.
So ladies, what have we learned? Follow around your hot friends for scraps, get a sunburn, and carry around a hat box. Wow, this will surely solve female loneliness. No, but for real, some of this advice was actually much better than like any modern dating advice I've seen. Like at least some of this advice was go the f outside and talk to men, as opposed to don't talk to him, like let him chase you, don't even look him in the eyes. Also, men, I'm curious, which one of these would actually work on you? Would you go over to a woman that was crying and ask what's wrong? Does the hat box do it for you? I'm curious. By the way, the link to the whole list will be in the description. I would love to see your own takes on this list, like your reactions, your own video responses to this list. I've been seeing a lot of VTubers responding to my videos lately, so if one of you anime freaks are reacting to this right now, I see you. So that was that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, I've stolen like what, 20 something minutes from your life that you will never get back. But if you did like it, please consider donating to my Patreon, link down below. We're gonna start doing movie nights
Nails
together,
hurt,
and I would
little
love
girl.
to see you there. And I will see you next time with a new video. Bye!
That list honestly was fucking hilarious. It was pretty good. I can some of that advice was actually genuinely good. I'd say a lot of it was pretty funny and stupid, but a good majority of it was pretty good. I'd say it proves my point that a lot of this dating stuff nowadays is missing one of the key essential things for trying to get somebody to date you, which is that human connection. But yeah, well, this was female loneliness and how to fix it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinions on this, especially that list. That list was fucking hilarious. Anyways, I hope links to all my socials will be in the description below, along with the other platforms that I am on. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more. I post Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope you have a wonderful day. Say goodbye, little girl. Come here. Say goodbye. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.